Today we're celebrating founders and the freedom for founders. It is coming up on the 4th of July, and I want to really tie together our founding fathers as well as our founding business owners and really talk about the term freedom, because this is what makes everything sing. Right? They say, let freedom ring. Well, let freedom really ring in your business by actually owning it. And what we see when we talk to clients and when we go out on the speaking circuit or whatever, the number one thing that we see is a lack of freedom. People are so overwhelmed and tied down to their businesses, they really can't even breathe. And this was not the intention of our founding fathers or of us founding our business. And so today we want to address this. How do we find our freedom? And, when you think about something as monumental as the Declaration of Independence, you should have your own Declaration of Independence in your business. So often we go into the day, into the morning, into our office, and we just dive right in the middle of a pool. It's like one of those kid jumping things with all those balls, right? And they have a whole bunch of balls and people are just jumping in and falling through. There's no stability. You can't just stand up and see where you're going. And that's how a lot of people are running their businesses, like one of these jump houses or ball caves or something like that. So we have to flip the script today so that you can actually own a business that you feel the freedom, not just financially, but personally as well. I know several people who are CEOs of their companies who have had severe anxiety attacks, and they did not see it coming. So we're going to change all of that today and really show you how you can start taking control of your business again and not get trapped into this whole it's all me, me, me concept that way too many businesses are falling into. And so as we celebrate 250 years as a country, let's celebrate where you are. Let me know down in the comments, how many years have you been in your business? We're not at 250 yet, but over 25 years and over 35 different industries that we've helped out, all built on 4 founding maxims that help businesses scale very quickly. So what's your business built on? What's your Declaration of Independence that you have? We always have our manifesto, but when the founding fathers started, they said, we hold these truths to be self-evident. And what they are saying is that this is how we know things have to be, how they have to be architected. They didn't just build everything off of passion. Oh, let's go do this. This will be fun. I love this. Passion is not going to sustain the business. It's the architecture that does. And that is why we have one document that has withstood all the test of time, all the attacks, all the people trying to get rid of it. It is one of the most highly calibrating documents out there. That's why our country is so great. And it's based off of sound, strong principles. And if you don't have that in your business, if you're just running by the seat of your pants or that from one fad to another, you're not going to actually have a business that could last another 250 years. So most founders have inadvertently signed an invisible contract that actually causes constraint. And if you understand like the theory of constraints, there's 4 main constraints that most CEOs are facing. Tell me which one is it for you? And most people have 1, sometimes 2, and some people have all 4. So maybe your constraint is owner dependency, where the whole business revolves around you. It only works when the founder works, which means what? You don't get a lot of vacations. And if you do, your phone and your laptop are coming with you. So there's also operational chaos, how everything is structured. And there's this feeling of you're not wearing a business suit anymore, you're wearing a firefighter suit. And there's missed handoffs and things are dropping and slipping. And that whole spinning plates concept, and you pay attention to one crisis and 3 plates fall. This is operational chaos. Now, the third one is decision fatigue. Okay, let's talk about this. This is important because our brains are actually using up 25% of the energy of our body. So did you know this? It's really fascinating when you think about it, that this tiny little thing, the size of a fist, okay, and yes, you can ask who has a bigger brain, men or women. And does the size matter? That's always people want to know, who's got a bigger brain, men or women. You can put your guess down below. And when you're talking about the brain, it uses up 25% of the energy of the body. So if you have a body, let's say it weighs 175 pounds as a male or 130 as a female, and then there's only 3 pounds of something that's controlling a quarter of all of your energy. Now do you see why you get so fatigued? All these decisions coming at you. And if you look at studies, it's very fascinating. Studies with judges. Judges give harsher sentences, less leniency towards the end of the day after the lunch break. So if you're ever stuck in court, try to get in before the lunch break. And if you have important meetings to do them in the morning. So there is a real concern with decision fatigue. And this is why we're talking about, why do so many people have these anxiety stress attacks as CEOs? A lot of CEOs have what they call the weekend syndrome, where they're so going all through Monday through Friday. And by the time the weekend hits, that's when they kind of collapse or break down. And this is one of the chaos problems of constraint that you might have built in instead of freedom into your business. So we have got to get back to the freedom. And then the other restricting quality is revenue leaks. Now, this is a big topic, and we're going to dive deep into this again next week. I'm going to show you all the revenue leaks in your business, but they're silent, they're persistent, and they can actually take down your whole business. So these are the 4 contracts that we've invisibly signed, and it's causing tyranny. So freedom is an engineered operating model. And it's not something that happens haphazardly. And maybe when you started your business, you felt really free. But as you went along, you felt less and less free. So you have to look at this combination, the triad of strategy, alliances, and diagnostics. Like, what does that mean? What that means is that, do you actually have a plan? Right? Are you like the founding fathers, where you laid it all out, looked at it, got together the best minds, the greatest intelligence to format a plan for your industry? You cannot do it alone. I have strategic advisors as a consultant over 25 years. How about you? Do you have strategic advisors helping you see the forest from the trees? And then what are these alliances that you're forming? And what are the diagnostics that you're using? You have to have all of that. Who are the people and who are the processes? As we like to say in the agentic world, is the carbon and the silicon, right? And there is a process called carbon silicon ratio. And it's very important in getting certified and certifying other consultants in AI. They learn this and how to blend the 2 of those together. So like the 2 states of the union, which side are you on when you're looking at these as far as your business? How are you when it comes to your own dependencies? And are you the founder at every bottleneck, or do you have AI delivery conductors? We call that Kira in our Morgentic system. Then the operations. Do you have a predictable rhythm and an order for decisions? Is it like, oh, it's a gut move, right? You're always trying to figure out, oh, should I do this or should I not? Maybe you remember last week we talked about a lot of people are just, whether it's the consultant, whether it's the owner, they're just guessing and they're consulting the wrong things. They're looking at this as if an 8 ball is going to give you the answers. Tell me, great 8 ball, what is the problem? And it's going to give you an answer every time you shake it. That doesn't work in business, right? And so these decisions are crazy. And then, of course, where are these leaks happening? And where is the consistency? Do you have a specific plan, a process for all of these stages to occur? Or again, is it random? So when you're building a business, at Iconic, one of our claims to fame is that we grow businesses very quickly. And in order to grow business fast, you have to be singularly focused. You can't be focusing on many things. That will slow you down. It causes what we call a drag coefficient to your business. So while there are these 4 pillars that we're talking about, you still want to address each one in its order. And the question is for a lot of people, which one? There's only 4, but which one do you start with? Do you look at the greatest lack and need in your business, or do you look at the greatest strength in your business? How do you look at it? What does your person that you're consulting with, your consultant or coach or whoever, what are they telling you and why? All right. So what are these 4 pillars that you have to look at and understand? Is really simple if you want to scale. Number 1, these are your 4 freedoms, okay? And this is what holds all the weight. Your freedom from owner dependency. You've got to be able to step away from the business. Freedom from operational chaos, which we talked about, is everything going on a different pace, different rhythm, or is it more orchestrated, like a great harmony? The third one is freedom from decision blind spots. Do you even see things coming? Can you actually predict what is going to happen? Or are you constantly wondering what is next? And then the 4th pillar is freedom from the revenue leaks. And these are the silent leaks, right? If you have plumbing in your house and maybe you I hear a drip, I hear a little drip. Oh, it's nothing. And then poof, everything blows up, right? I remember this happened here, and there was a little leak, but we weren't sure. It was like when it rained, you could hear a leak. We thought, well, that's nothing. And then one day I go out to the garage, and I'm outside in the front of the house, and there I see water coming out of the garage. And I'm like, oh no. And then it was just pouring down into the garage and all over the car and everything. So you can't ignore the little leak, the little drip. And most people do. Why? Because they're in this operational chaos. You see how these all tie together? And when everything depends on you as the CEO, as the owner, you don't have time to listen for the leak, to orchestrate all of the actions, to catch the missed handoffs when they happen. This is not going to give you freedom if you can't do all these things. I hope this is making sense. So what do you do? At this point, you might think, well, this is a gloomy picture. No, it's not gloomy. I just want you to understand the importance of having an intelligent design in your business and orchestrating your business with intelligence, not little duct tape pieces here and there. Don't just think a chatbot here and a chatbot there is going to do it. It's not sophisticated enough. And guess what? At the pace that everything is going so fast with AI, you can't keep up with a chatbot here and a chatbot there. Because here a chatbot, there a chatbot, everywhere a chatbot. But you have to think as a whole system. Again, what's the biosphere, the whole cycle of everything that you're doing? Is it working harmoniously together? Because if it's not, then guess what happens? We have operational chaos. And so we want to dismantle this whole founder bottleneck, right? When you're facing tyranny, you're in the middle. There's the chaos coming at you from everywhere. Like you go one direction, hey, I need you here. Hey, I need you here. I can't get there. We have people that we know are deep into this. And how do we know? Because we talk with them and they can never have another meeting, another call, because they're so deep into handling their team's issues. If that's you, you need to call, right? If you don't even have time for short meetings and you're running and gunning from the get-go, you're in tyranny. That's not freedom. So the freedom deck puts you at the top, not in the middle, right? No human in the loop. You need to be on the top. And you have to have orchestrators, people who can manage all this that come and report to you. And this is how you then balance the workforce with the agentic force. This is true freedom. The other side is not, all right? So where are you straddling? Are you straddling tyranny? Are you straddling freedom? But maybe you're not quite there yet. Maybe you've built parts and pieces, but you're realizing all the parts that you've built, especially when it comes to building AI, they're there, but they're not talking to each other. They're all talking their own distinct language. And that's a scary place to be as well. You're like in the middle of the UN and everybody has, headsets on, but nobody can actually talk to each other. They're being translated. But who's doing all the translation? Humans, you, your team, right? You're still in charge of now just more people. And you have to regulate them. And how can you manage all that, right? You see the problem. It's all these disparate parts. They need to run together into one unified process. It's a lot like when you think about Michael Jordan and his coach, he'd go to his coach and he'd say, gosh, I'm nervous. I got butterflies. It's all, crazy in my head. He's like, it's okay to have the butterflies. You just have to get them all flying and floating in the same direction. And this is what your business needs to do too. So is this happening? How do you do that? When there's chaos over here, that means you need a system, a substrate to put all that chaos through so it comes out even. Another way to think of it is think about spaghetti. I went to Italy and we did this tour of all the vineyards and the 5-star Michelin restaurants. And then we had a cooking class one day. We were making spaghetti and all these things. So we made the raw spaghetti and then we put it in to the machine and you put this clump in there and then out comes these really fine streams, right? It's exactly what we're talking about with your agentic business. How do you take all the chaos, I know we all did it. We all got the shiny object AI pieces and parts, and now they're sitting there collecting dust. Some still have the tags, haven't been opened, but you have to do something with it. And so you might have old legacy systems. You might be starting like we did from the ground up AI, but you still have to get all those butterflies going in the same direction. And that's where Morgentic comes in. It's a platform, a place to put everything in order, like having a great bookshelf or a curio cabinet, right? And everything has a spot and a level. And so what we're trying to get you away from is making your decisions emotionally based on the moment, right? Because the moment just passed. And so now you're reacting off of history rather than having the ability to forecast and look forward, right? So you've seen like a sonar radar, right? And you can see doot, beep, 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 and you can see where that ship is going and what quadrant it is in. That's how you need to have a kind of vision around your business, that you can see all the way around all parts of your business, not just the place that you're standing in right now. Is this making sense? So it's really common sense, but often people are operating their business like nonsense. And so if you're trying to scale, you want to watch for those leaks, right? They're not that obvious. It looks like everything is going well. Some people think it's all going well because it's what you've done before. We've always done it this way. This is called reversion, and it's one of the four behavior flaws that CEOs have. So if you're stuck in reversion, this is how we've done it, this is working, let's keep going, or this never worked in the past, or we tried that before, why should it work now? Well, you don't walk into a river and at the same point and have the same water there, nor are you the same person. Everything is moving. And if you're trying to stand still, you're in entropy. You're actually going backwards while the world is moving ahead of you. So you have to find these revenue leaks. We're going to talk about this all deeply next Tuesday. Every Tuesday, we're here at 2 p.m. Pacific. And come back because we have a gift for you every time, and you can accumulate these and use them in your business. And everything that we do here, we always put in our Substack. And so that is our blog. We put our videos, our cheat sheets, our quizzes, our reports, case studies, everything, our slide decks, so you can see it all, grab it all, and start using it for your business. So we do this free so that you actually can start moving your business forward. We've been doing this for over 7 years, and super glad that you're here. So of course, go ahead and subscribe if you want freedom in your business. So let's look at this unified architecture that I was talking about based on an ease and plastic business. And this is how you build your workforce. These are the 4 areas that you have to really go deep on. So again, I'm going to review these for you. Think about for your business, where are you in the wheel? So do you need freedom from the chaos? Do you need freedom from the blind spots? You can't see the hidden leaks in your business, or maybe you don't even see what's coming around the corner. That's a scary place to be. Freedom from the leaks, and then freedom from the dependency. I mean, just like, I really need a break. I really need a break. And maybe as the holiday weekend comes up, you're just maybe even questioning, well, do I get a 4th of July break as the CEO, or do I have to stay and patch up all the pieces? And see, the thing about this entire wheel of architecture for your business, when you design it intelligently, it's one system, one wheel. It's not 4 parts. It's not like a pie where you have separate pieces that make it incomplete. It's all one thing that flows together. And you don't have to think about it all the time, right? Because we talked about that decision fatigue. If you don't have to think about your business all the time, that alone is a 25% relief of that bottleneck, that freedom that you're having in your business right now, because that's how much brain power is being stolen trying to figure out all the parts, pieces, and misdirected angles of your business. So when we put it all together, this is what we do as specialists, is AI workforce designers, building your sovereign agents, the specialists that come into your team, and we divide it into 3 sections. Think of it like your first 30 days, your 60, and your 90. And the first thing is we're going to distinguish, and we have 3 different categories of agents that we put there. How many? Most people start with 8 each, but then you can go on depending on the size of your company. And we can actually lay all of it out for you, show you exactly what the design looks like on one page. And then you could see how your business could be different, how much you could save in money, in time, in overhead. So that distinguishes that first part. And then we have the disrupt, where we have to figure out what are the things that we have to stop doing, what are the new things we have to start doing, how do we get the 2 components to work together, the carbon and the silicone, they have to work together, peanut butter and jelly, right? But what's on top, you can't have just peanut butter and jelly on a spoon, that's not great. What do you need? You need the bread, you need the governance, something to contain it and a substrate to hold it. And that's how you look at building your AI business. And then dominate. Now here is the most awesome thing. When you actually stop doing the AI toys and the tool here and this tool and trying to build it all yourself, when you have a system that has it all built in, like you don't go build your own microwave, you don't build your own vacuum, right? You get one done. Okay, you could do it, but why? You just want to get the thing done and move on. You want to eat the food, you want the clean house. You don't want to sit there for 3 weeks building out the process. So the dominate part is amazing because this is now where over time, repeated processes, looking and understanding how your business operates, knowing when somebody has a signal, a trait that they're about to cancel, or having an overview of your entire lead and pipeline database and seeing, here is an untapped market that we haven't reached into, or this market is saturated now, and you don't have any of that. But when you have somebody with intelligence, we call it Kira, and she can go in and look at all of the workings of your business, spot out these opportunities, pinpoint the leaks, and it gets to know you better and better with less and less of your input. This is the power of an agentic system. And again, you're going to have specialists, not one that does everything. That is the big mistake. That's the big lie out there that you have to be wary of. Is you want one specialist for each project. You don't want the dermatologist operating on your heart, right? They're specialists and you want them to stay in their lane. Is this making sense? So what happens when you think about it, I just want to give you a graph of really what to visualize. And that is that there's an irreversible compound effect. You've heard of the compound effect, right? You take a penny and you double it every day for 30 days. You have 5.3 million over 30 days. But on a month, where next month in July, there's 31 days. Now you compound that penny every single day, you will have $10 million from just this compounding. So the question is right now is so important. Right now is where you have to look at this, because are you compounding growth or are you compounding chaos? They're both irreversible. You can compound that growth and just keep going. You won't fall back. Or you could compound the chaos that you're in based off of fear, uncertainty, or maybe you feel you don't have the money to move forward. It's going to be a compounded chaos in the wrong direction. So there is that sweet spot, right, where those lines cross, and that's that irreversible point where you can't change your mind there, okay? So I want you to think about this as we started, right? In that Declaration of Independence, what is yours? Write down your Declaration of Independence for you, for your family, for your business, for your finances, for your freedom. What do you want? Like, I will no longer tolerate operational chaos, right? What is it for you? I want you to think about this. Even just give it 5 seconds. What if you just said, hey, freedom begins with me. Starting today, I will no longer tolerate an operating model that limits my potential. That's powerful. Okay? And so I'm going to leave you with this. Is the operating model you have in your business limiting your potential, or is it compounding your freedom? We'd love to introduce you to Morgentic. This is the platform through which we build your agentic systems on your current business model. We'll look at everything for you, and you can book a call and say, I would like an analysis of what an AI workforce would do in my business. You can go to morgentic.com with the IQ at the end, Morgentic. And you can also just book a quick 10-minute call. Ask some quick questions. We can point you in the right direction and the right person who can help you. And you can go to callconnie.com. But we also have a revenue leaks calculator, and we can see where the leaks are in your business. You can use that calculator. I'm going to put the link down in the comments below, and I would love for you to take that quiz, see how much money you're leaving on the table. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of our Freedom for Founders Day and week. And I wish you all an amazing 4th of July week and absolute freedom in your business. And come back here again next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific, and we will show you where specifically all those leaks are in your business. Have a great weekend and be iconic.